Hi everyone, welcome to vlog number 2. I thought I'd do another vlog for carbon baits because I got some lovely messages and support for the last one. I hope you all enjoyed that. This vlog I'm going to run you through the particle and the seeds that I use on mostly all of my sessions this time of year. I'm actually down the lake now as I finish early on a Wednesday at school. So me and Dad jumped in the car, put the fishing gear in and rushed down the lake. As it's a Wednesday, we got in one of our first choices of swims. I got the rod out and within 10 minutes probably, the rod hooped round and I landed my first carp, a lovely, probably mid-20 common. We got the rod back out on the spot and then literally my phone popped up and then that rod hooped round again. So I just landed another carp, a lovely, probably low 20, awesome brace of commons. I'm going to get them out now and get a couple of pics and show you guys. Well, look at that. This doesn't happen much down this lake, seeing as it's quite tough, but I've never really had a brace of 20s and I think this one might be it. So I'll get them out on the mat and get a couple of photos and show you guys. So first fish, lovely low 20 common. He's a lively one so I can't afford to mess about too much, but proper cool common. Ooh. Second fish, a little bit smaller than that first one, but proper cool chunky common. He's a proper lively one, really angry one, so I'm not going to mess around too much. I'm going to get some stills done, get the rod back out, hopefully bag another chunk. Not everybody loves a ghostie, but me, I think they're so cool and pretty. Check out this absolute beast, 23-pound ghostie. What a fish, third fish of the session now, come on. So we're coming to the end of the session now. We're quickly losing the light, but it's been an awesome session. I've had 3 fish. Usually you don't get 3 fish out in a short space of time, but yeah, it's been mega. My plan is, so we're coming down for an overnighter on Friday, or a 24-hour session, and I've got a big bucket of CO2 chili. I'm going to try and dump that on the spot, and then hopefully, fingers crossed, get in the same swim on Friday. The idea being that that'll hold the fish in the zone for a while. I'll sort of run you through on Friday, like my particle, maybe my rigs, and my lead system and things like that. It's been an awesome little session. Really happy with how it's gone. And yeah, the bites have been so quick. I've really been surprised of how many fish I've had out in about 4 hours, 5 hours. So yeah, it's been a mega session. But I'll talk you through on Friday what I got up to, or what I'm going to do, and my rigs and my bait, and things like that. So, as you can see, the wind behind me is still pumping in to my little spot in the margin. Fingers crossed the fish have stayed put, and I think they have, and hopefully they've moved in on that bait that we put on Wednesday. We put a good few well, probably about 3 kilo of particle on that spot. So my particle mix that I usually use, or I'm using this session, is the CO2 chili. As you can see there, I always add a few tiger nuts. So, I was rudely interrupted there. Dad's rod screamed off and he's got a lovely common in the net behind me. As I was saying, this is the mix that I use. It's the CO chili. The only difference is with this mix is I add some tiger nuts and also a bit of rock salt, because I feel that gives any mix a little bit of an edge. With the tiger nuts, I feel like it gives me an extra hook bait option as well, and also the crayfish are ruthless in here, so there's something hard that the crayfish won't chew up, and also that the big roach and rudd and bream can't eat. So this is the mix, just the CO2 chili with a bit of rock salt and some tigers. That has been catching me the fish these past couple of sessions. I really love this rig and I've started using it recently. It's a variation of a slip D rig. I use a Think and Angler's curve point, a size 4 instead of a long shank or something like that. And also I've been using a instead of a kicker or something like that, I've been using a liner. I feel like it gives every rig that extra bit of flipping power in the fish's mouth, but I've only started using that recently. And also I've made a bit of a tweak to what I use to sink the rig. On here the crays are absolutely crazy, so instead of rig putty I use a tungsten sinker, because they can't nick that, but they absolutely love rig putty. But what I do is I move this sinker up there, I get some rig putty, and then fold that over my hook link, hold this loop in my mouth, and then run that up and down there. And I think that it makes everything settle down on the bottom because of the braid. There's so many little grooves and holes that the putty can get into, and then I just slide that sinker down about probably an inch from the hook, so as that comes down this settles down nicely like that. I'm actually using a little plastic dumbbell at the moment, and I've been varying between the dumbbell and also 2 bits of pink fake corn, because of the craze, and also tiger nuts work really well on here, seen as the craze are so bad. But yeah, that is the finished rig, and that is what has been catching me these few fish the past sessions. I've actually been using Braid for a couple of sessions now, or a couple of evening sessions. I've been using Braid. On this lake it's so snaggy, and every time you come here you've got to check your mono through to see if it's frayed, but with the Braid it's so strong, and I'm actually really surprised because I've hooked 5 fish I think, and I've landed 5 fish, no hook pulls or anything like that, which I'm really pleased with. I've also got a couple of spare spools at home for these reels with mono on them. The OGX from Think and Anglers, and this is the SBX on here. in £40. It's really good for things like chod fishing and fishing like slack lines and tight lines, because it sinks really fast when it's wet. And I've also got some sweat bands that I put on these reels, so when I get here I soak them in the lake water and then just slip them on my reels, and that makes sure the braid is all very damp, and when you don't get back to the swim and cast out, it's all dry and you get a massive wind knot. So that's also a really good tip that I like using with braid, also with mono as well. But I'm really loving this, really loving the braid at the moment, and I feel like I'll definitely be using it on a few other lakes. So last night it sort of slowed up a little bit, and I thought it weren't going to happen, but the rod did eventually pull up tight about 8:30. It was pitch black then, so I was fighting this fish in the dark, and I wasn't sure what it was, because it was a little bit of a broomy take, and then it was also coming in like a bream. And then when I got it halfway, sort of gave a few head shakes, and I was like, right, this is a carp now. And it just sort of came in easily, and then I scooped it, scooped the net cord under the fish, and it was in the net. I picked the net up, had a look in it, and I realised this fish was like big. It was over £25, and it was really, really long. I have got a little bit of footage that I'll show you, but it's not so good because the fish really beat me up on the bank. But we put it in the sling, carried it over to the mat, weighed it, and the needle went round to £28.8. I didn't think it was going to happen, but then the rod hooped over and I landed this absolute beast of a common at £28. Check out him, what an absolute unit. I know I said I love a ghosty, but it's getting a bit much now. Check out this one, it's £21, what a chunk. It was caught on that slip D that I showed you earlier, on a double bit of corn. What a fish, just over a little bit of particle and some crushed krill boilies. Lovely, lovely, lovely fish. So I thought I'd just have a little bit of a recap of the past couple of sessions. So I'm going to talk about Wednesday evening, and I'm also going to talk about the overnighter that we've done today. So Wednesday we got down, it's probably about, I don't know, really about 3 o'clock, 3:15 maybe. We got the rods out and I had a quick bite straight away. That resulted in a lovely £18 clean common. I got the rod back out, and then it pulled up again after about 10 minutes, and I caught another about low 20 common. And then we had our dinner. I got the rod back out, and then I had a lovely £23 ghosty. That was an awesome fish. It took me for a right fight on this on the new setup. I've got 2 rigs out perfectly on the spot, with a bit of mixed seed over the top, and then we sat back and it resulted in them 3 beautiful fish that you saw. And then we, at the end of the session, we put about 5 kilo of the CO2 chili with a bit of tigers and a little bit of salt. And I really think that held the fish on the spot for when we got down here today. down yesterday after school, and the wind was still pushing into this bay, and I think it really helped the fish on the spot because I got that rig out straight away. And then, as you saw, I had a lovely 28/8 common. We had dinner, and then I actually reeled the rods in for the night just to give the swim a bit of a break and hold the fish in, and also for me to get a good night's sleep. I put them back out this morning early, about 6